And the guys came in with their gas masks and their goggles and the dark uniforms. So we knew it was going to go down. Something was going to go down. And then they started shouting, push back, push back. So we, as the crowd, started to move because the police are now pushing us with their batons in their hands. And then I see this arm come over top of the officer that's in front of me, over him, and he's got a black hand in it, this arm, and he just starts spraying the crowd. And then all of a sudden I felt the side of my face start to burn. And then it kind of traveled slowly across my face, and next thing I know, it was in my eye was on fire, I couldn't see, and then it had traveled to my other eye, and I just started yelling, I've been maced, I can't see, my eyes are burning, I can't see. And the guy behind me who's got me, he's like, don't worry about it, I got you, just follow me, I'm gonna dance you out of this crowd. And he did. He got me to safety. I can hear other people screaming in the crowd. And more people were coming out and they were yelling, I need help, I need a medic. So I told them to go deal with them, that I was fine, I'd be okay. And then my friends come running up that I had been on the stage with, and they were in the Sheraton Hotel and were watching my live and saw me get sprayed, so they threw their stuff on to come out and find me. Probably a good thing they did, because I went into shock after that. My body started shaking. I wasn't cold, but I couldn't stop shaking. I was uncontrollably shaking, and they started rubbing down my body. I don't know, 15-20 minutes, I guess, and then I started to relax, and I grabbed my phone and said, I need back in there. And they're like, are you kidding me? You need to get out of here. I'm like, no, the people need to see the truth. And I made them help me up onto a flower pot, and I started filming again. And I probably stayed out there for another hour to 2 hours before I finally decided that I needed to go in and get warm. And then after an hour of being in the Sheraton, and I ran into some people in the Sheraton, and I went to the washroom, and I had a really good cry. That's when I decided to call it a night and went back to the Swiss.
The trucks that they came up on, if it had a bunk on it, like if they couldn't directly see in the window and check to see if somebody was in it, they instantly went for the windows. They didn't even check if the doors were unlocked or nothing. The hammer went straight for the windows. So I had originally intended to make it as hard as possible for them to get to move my truck. I was gonna, lock the doors, roll up the windows and everything, take my keys with me. At that point I was like, there's no use in doing that because they're just gonna end up breaking my windows. So I rolled the windows down, I unlocked my doors, and I just stood there waiting for them to get there. When they did get to my truck, I had my heart set on not voluntarily walking away. So they were gonna either take me away or push me out of the way. And so that's what they did. So they pushed me up against a buddy of mine, Mike's truck. So at that point, my back is up against the bumper of the truck, and all the police officers, they're like surrounding me and they're telling me to move. At that point I was already wanting to move, because they got their batons out, poking me, hitting me and stuff. While they're hitting me with their batons, all of a sudden I get a surprise shot of pepper spray in my eyes. And there's actually a picture out there, and it's got me right on the nose at that point when somebody took the picture. But they got my whole face, and then they ended up kicking the feet out from under me. So I went down into a pile of snow, and that's when the crowd that was, they always made a line right in front of the cops, so they actually pulled me out and got me out behind the supporter line. And my brother ended up finding me and walked me back to my room where I could wash up and heal up. So yeah, just going reliving that is feels weird.
They were shooting rubber bullets. They were pepper spraying us. They were beating us with batons. And out of nowhere, they bring in these horses. Okay? And the horses were sitting back for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, they opened up one side of the line that they had with all these police officers, and they let horses through. My jaw, my heart dropped. I was thinking, look how many people are in this crowd, and they're bringing horses through? I was this close to running up and literally getting in front of the horses to, shield people myself, and I realized that I wouldn't stand a chance. I would not have stood a chance. They would have killed me. And, so I backed off a little bit off the line, and I was standing there with my camera, and next thing I know, the police trampled this old woman. It was the most shocking thing I've ever seen. I didn't know her at the time. I know she's from the Mohawk tribe. She is another indigenous woman that was there, and they completely trampled her. I thought she died. I was so worried for her. The police were not willing to help with medical aid, anything. They were willing to hurt us, but not even provide us help. Like, what if she did die? What if she was bleeding out there? Like, they weren't willing to even help us.
And that same day, the Ottawa police put out a tweet saying, regarding the horse incident, a couple of people were knocked over, but they were okay. And so first they lied about it, but then they gaslit the public by flipping around saying, but there was an incident where one of the protesters threw a bike at the horse, but the horse remains uninjured.
That's bullshit.
Half those cops didn't want to be there, though. That's one thing. You could read their eyes. The other half were out for blood. These are the type of people that like beating people. These are the people who have, these authoritarian disorders. They were out to hurt people. They were fully armed. I seen one of them beating a man with the butt of his gun. Like, this is something you do in war times, okay? This is something you do when it's life or death. Not a peaceful Canadian protest. You do not beat a man, unarmed on the ground.
They should have not been hit to the ground by horses and batons when they were themselves doing nothing violent whatsoever. Simply a peaceful concern, asking all of society, ultimately all of the US and Europe, please look at the fact that we're just being reasonable here. Can we please be let to live our lives in a safe manner? And that's who those people were. They were polite, they were kind, they were in no way xenophobic or racist. My goodness, I saw people of all colors, all circumstances, but I would say simply all smiles and all kindness. Those were the people, the truckers, who came to Ottawa, and they should be thought of positively as these years go forward. They have awakened us. They listened to the statistics. They listened to the real medical facts that Dr. Paul Alexander and others gave us. So we're thankful to Dr. Alexander. We're thankful to the people who responded to him. We're thankful to the many, many scientists. He is one of many, many scientists who have woken us all up to this.
The trucker has 100% of the science on their side. It is the government that is wrong. Long live the Canadian trucker.